Yo, what up? This is T Squeegee, and this is the Tuesday tirade with T Squeegee. I mean, I just said my name twice, so there's that. Yeah, man, I'm beat. And I had a garage. It's a bar, but it's all garage doors. 8 garage doors. They're like 16. No, yeah. One, two, three, four, five, six. Is it four? 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay, it's not 16, it's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, seven of those 12 lights in and out. The marina shop, two rental houses for their seasonal employees. One of them was storms. It wasn't too many storms, but whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 storm windows I had to break down on one house. And then the other one was relatively quick. And then their actual house, the owners, I did the owner's house too, in and out. Ceiling fans. I'm just whooped, man. Fuck. But, you do what you got to do. And that was on top of 2 restaurants this morning. You know what I mean? Because, I'm always keeping it real on them restaurants. But, yeah, but I'm here to do this. I'm here to do this like Brutus, son. I was listening to a podcast today, the Brohio podcast. I don't know if you guys know what it is or not, but it's pretty cool. It's they kind of cover a lot of shit, to be honest with you. They do conspiracies. What do you want to call it? True crime, UFOs, whatever. You know what I mean? But they had this dealio today, or I was listening to today, and there's a picture of it. Something I want. The one thing I thought was cool about it is there's a submerged Cuban city off of the coast of Cuba, of course. And what's cool about this is also it's inside the Devil's Triangle. But what was cool about this is what I thought was interesting was what I should say is when they were talking about it, they were talking about this woman found this this city off of the coast of Cuba, and they went back with what do you want to call it? Side scanning sonar and all this other stuff. It was kind of a big deal for there for a second, and for whatever reason, out of nowhere, they just stopped talking about it. But here, I'll play a little bit of this video here on YouTube, and kind of give you just so you know who she is and shit, and I'll expound a little more. Let's see here. There you go.
This is another map, and this is catalog of our structures. Cuba is cut off by very deep faults, Black Sea, and in our coastal area. Now come with me, and I will show to you all these like foundations. The stone blocks have very closely matched to the size of stone blocks in Lake Titicaca. Description of the structures.
I don't know what this lady's name is. I'll have to find it. But what's cool about this, that's the lady that found it. They just stopped talking about that shit. They just stopped talking about it. Like, Cuba was a huge deal, and then all of a sudden, it just went away. You know what I mean? Like, it was out of the public limelight and everything. But I think, dude, there's so much shit in South America, like in Mexico and all that stuff, like in the jungles. Like there's huge cities that are covered by rainforest and stuff that they're just now finding with that LRAD or whatever it is, that shit on the bottom of planes now. But it's so crazy, dude. Just the stuff that they're finding now. I think it's not going to be long before they find a lot of things that they thought were just rumors and legend and stuff like that. I think it won't be long, and uh, they're gonna start finding a lot of these weird places. You know what I mean? And I think what the big deal about this was especially conspiracy theorists, from what I was understanding, is this is like right around 2012 they found it. Edgar Casey predicted they would find lost civilization off the coast of Mexico. Um, shit. Around 2012, I don't know, and everything with the 2012 shit that was going on at the time. It's uh I don't know. It just all of it at the same time. I thought, oh, that's pretty interesting, man. And then to add all of that, like Cuba made a big deal out of it, and all of a sudden they just stopped talking about it. But it's kind of crazy. But yeah, it's you can find it like right here. You can see um, Zaleski. Paulina Zaleski was that lady in that video we just watched. But what happened to the city of Cuba, the sunken city of Cuba? This is just something I pulled up, ancientorigins.net. Who knows, what's going on with that? You know what I mean? First thing I searched, I clicked on here. But I found this on I heard about it on the Brohio podcast, so I thought I'd talk about it to you guys today. I thought that was pretty neat, man. That's cool shit, dude. Cool shit, man. Cool shit, bro. Cool shit, bro. Not as cool as fucking dudes that wear fucking surgical gloves to clean windows. If you wear surgical gloves to clean windows, I don't dislike you at all, but I just don't fucking understand it. I mean, if we're buddies and you're like, dude, Squeege, bro, fucking rock the medical gloves, man, and I just don't understand it. Had some guy tell me on Facebook, he's like, I wear them because keep my hands safe from chemicals. Like, what chemicals do you think those gloves are protecting you from? Anything caustic is going to eat through that. Like, just say you like to put on rubber gloves because you think you're cool. I mean, just say that. I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that. Shit. I mean, if you think you're a lot cooler because of them gloves, I'm cool with you doing that. I'm okay with it. Shit. I don't know. I think it's whack as shit. It just seems like an added expense. I have a hard time wearing gloves even when it's cold out. Just because I feel like my arm gets more fatigued because I'm trying to grip. You're always adjusting your grip with gloves. You know what I mean? Because you're something to be said about contact with your hands. Everyone knows that works with their hands. It just, I don't know. Gloves? You mean bitch mittens? I'm smooth on that. So there's my rant. Dudes that wear surgical gloves to clean windows, I don't understand it. I mean, we're all buddies and we're all brothers, but it doesn't mean I have to understand that one. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand, man. Another thing I don't fucking get is like dudes are like, and I get it on my YouTube videos a lot. Dudes are like, why don't you get out a ladder, man? Instead of using that water-fed pole, or why are you pulling that, bro? Just bust out a ladder. Maybe I don't fucking feel like getting on a ladder, motherfucker. Shut your bitch ass mouth. You know what I mean? You gonna sit here and try to talk to me about getting on a ladder? I mean, come on, man. Can't shame somebody for not wanting to be on a ladder. I have no problem getting on a ladder, but if I don't have to get on one, I'm not gonna. I don't give a fuck what any yum from wherever the fuck half these dudes are from. I don't fucking know. They speak a language I don't speak, but and the other half are just dipshits. You know what I mean? That are trying to be tryhards. Trying to be fucking cool. Listen, if I want to use a water-fed pole to make like $200 an hour, then that's what I'm going to fucking do, whether you like it or not. I don't give a fuck what you think about it. The customer's happy, so eat a fucking gigantic bag of dicks. You know what I mean? Watch the videos. I can turn a squeegee, climb a ladder, and water-fed pole. And you can fucking blow me like a saxophone, homie. I don't give a fuck. I don't fucking care. Same way with them dudes with the rubber gloves. They're saying the same thing to me. They're like, boy, that's what I feel about them rubber gloves. Well, good for you, Mr. Rubber Gloves. I just think dudes set themselves up on that shit. I watch that shit and it's just like, dude, why are you fucking even setting yourself up for this, man? The YouTube videos, some dudes, I just let their comments roll. And the rest of you, I'll be honest with you, I just delete it. If you're trying to be a cunt, like go out of your way to be a cunt to me, I'm just going to delete the shit. And just get the fuck out of here. Bye, blocked, done. I don't need you around. You know what I mean? People may or may not like that. I really don't give a fuck if you like that or not either. I'm just going to be honest. I'm just not going to deal with it. I'm not going to deal with it. Fucking dudes, whatever, bro. You either dig it or you don't. It's one thing if you get on there and it's constructive criticism. I'm cool with constructive criticism. You can look at my comments on YouTube and you can see a lot of constructive criticism. I'm cool with that. But, I think my biggest problem is dudes that just want to be cunts. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, be a real man, get on a ladder. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Do your research, homie. Go watch another video where I'm on a ladder and shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? I get on the 45 footer, the 40-foot fucking ladder when I have to, But I don't think I've had to use that ladder in probably 2 or 3 years, man. I just go get a fucking lift, you know what I mean? Because I'm not trying to be a fucking superstar. I'm not trying to be like window cleaner hero, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to be like go home to my family hero, you know what I mean? And still make that cheese. So if I got to throw on a harness and hop in a basket, that's what I'm going to do, Mr. I ladder everything guy. Fuck out of here, bro. Fuck out of here, man. I could see like dudes throwing shade because they got these new guys coming into the game and all they do is water-fed pole shit. That's cool, but my name is T Squeegee. Leave me the fuck alone. I ain't trying to hear that shit. My squeegee's in my hand every motherfucking day, 6 days a week. My fucking squeegee's in my hand. So, I ain't trying to hear that shit, man. I just ain't trying to hear it. So, fuck off. There's something else I want to tell you. Fuck off. You know what I mean? you gotta look at it from my perspective. You know what I mean? 98% of everything that I fucking do is traditional window cleaning work. You know what I mean? When I use the water-fed pole, it's on large-ass jobs, which y'all see. Big jobs, with tons of ladder moves. I'm going to bust out the water-fed pole, and I'm going to bang it out with the water-fed pole. And then I'm going to cash that check, and you guys are going to be all salty on the fucking internet. And then I'm going to be, like, spending that money on shit while you're all salty on the fucking internet. You know what I mean? Stop being a buster. You know what I mean? There's something to be said about working with your hands. You know what I mean? I've been a carpenter. I've been a fucking maintenance guy. I worked on in a UAW factory. I worked in a slaughterhouse and killed pigs and butchered pigs. And I cleaned windows. You know what I mean? I do a lot of shit with my hands. A lot of people may not know, but I tinker around with blacksmithing too. Making knives and shit. But, there's a lot of things I do with my hands, but I'll tell you this: if there's a job out there to make something easier, especially when it comes to making money, I'm gonna use that shit, and I don't give a fuck what none of you fucking homos got to say about it. So there's that. So now that we got that all sorted out, again, I'll use whatever the fuck I want to use. I used to be a ladder superstar. I gave somebody else the title a long time ago. I only use the ladder when I have to. And that's that. And I'm still on a fucking ladder at least once a fucking day. So again, miss me with that bullshit, you fucking nerds. So beat it, Cheeto fingers. Go and like put your pompadour up, take selfies of you on a ladder, acting like you're fucking boss hog, like you're the only one out there in the world that's got a fucking ladder. You know what I mean? Come on, bro. Jesus, miss me with that shit, man. You look like a, what do you want to call it? You look like a hipster had sex with Barney Rubble and then fucking peed on it. You know what I mean? Get the fuck out of here, bro. I'm trying to hear that shit. Buster ass fucking dudes, man. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. Fucking people get on my fucking nerves, man. Some dudes like utilize water-fed pole like almost exclusively, and they fucking do really well for themselves. There's a dude right up the road that actually, he's really mad at me now. He blocked me on Facebook because of I should know better than to poke my fucking nose into things that I shouldn't. But sometimes I just feel like I gotta say shit. It's just like these dudes were going on and on. And I talked about this on the podcast for 2 days straight. And after I've sat and thought about it for a few days, you think about things, your reactions to things, and you think after all the shit I've been through in my life, I would know when to shut my fucking mouth and when, you know what I mean, when to open it. But I can't help but interject myself into situations, and I have a hard time when to say, like, to walk away. Just like, walk away. It's not worth the argument. You know what I mean? And I'm fucking, going back and forth with the guy, with both, not going back and forth with him. I made 2 comments, and basically, like, we're arguing over dumb shit. Who cares what this guy's opinion is? I would just, I disagree. I feel like I disagree, and this is why, and that's the end of it. But going like for 2 days straight trying to get this guy to bend to your will, it just doesn't make sense. And it's never gonna work. And in the end, it's just gonna be disingenuous looking as fuck, because the guy, you forced him into that fucking corner. You know what I mean? So it's just like, just leave it alone. If he doesn't want to be a member of that organization, then he doesn't. Fuck him. You know what I mean? Fuck him then. You know what I mean? It's, who gives a fuck? You can't convert everybody. And I felt like I was somewhat nice about it. And I like the dude. I think he's a good guy. I didn't have any problem with him. I don't know why he decided to block me or whatever, but I guess the reason why is it's my fault. I shouldn't have commented. I shouldn't have added my 2 cents in. Clearly, some people like to express their opinion, but just don't want to hear the opinions of others. I mean, I don't know, maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but that kind of reminds me of I'll tell you, here's a story for you. I was probably 21, 22 years old. We were at a bar here in town, my dad's bar. Used to play softball for him and shit, and it's just a hole-in-the-wall bar, not very big, a single run bar, one long stretch across the room. It's not maybe 35, 40, maybe 30 feet deep by like 10 or maybe 15, 16 feet wide. Small bar. But we used to go there a lot. And me and Jennifer and my buddy Jeremy, it was a Friday night. Jeremy was meeting some girl there, as one of who knows how many girls, because Jeremy's a whore. We were all up there hanging out, shooting pool, and this dude walks in. I knew this dude, I knew this dude from working construction, building homes. I knew this kid. I met him. It was kind of weird that he was in there, because I knew that he was not old enough to be in the bar, but, whatever. The bartender was serving him, and for whatever reason, like immediately, him and Jeremy, he come up and said hi to me. I said hi to him, whatever's whatever. And Jeremy, for whatever reason, just took a dislike into the guy immediately. And, they were kind of exchanging barbs throughout the evening. And, after a while, he ended up just disappearing. We don't know, we didn't know where he went. He just gone. We were like, okay, that fucking dipshit went home. And, we're chilling out, and we finally decide, fucking, we're gonna call it a night and go home. And I walk, Jennifer goes to walk out, and I'm right behind her, and Jeremy's behind me. He's a bigger guy. He was a bigger guy then. He still is a little bit now, to this day, than I was. I probably only weighed like 160, 170 pounds, somewhere around in there. And she goes out the door first, and when I come out, the fucking door kind of hits me. And when it hits me, it bounces right back out, because the door went this way. Jeremy was right behind me. Jeremy pushed the fucking door the rest of the way out. Well, this dude was standing behind the door waiting for us to come out. You know what I mean? And he was looking for Jeremy, but he hit me with the door. And I went to shove him, and he went to shove me, and he missed. One hand got me in the chest, the other one hit Jennifer, and he almost knocked Jennifer down, which instantly, you done fucked up. And I went and lunged after the kid, and Jeremy grabbed a hold of me. He's like, no, grabbed me around my, not a chokehold, but, put his arm around me, around my neck to, like, grab me back. And pulled me back. The dude backed off. And we started walking to the car, that, because they were coaxing me to the car. It's like, and I'm arguing with this dude, called him a bitch and all kinds of other stuff. And I get we turn our backs, so we're about halfway to the truck, and I turn around, and this dude's walking at us, you know what I mean, and starts talking shit. And Jeremy steps in between us, and he's like, no, man, we're not doing this. And Jeremy pushes me towards the truck. We start walking towards the truck again. And just as soon as my key hits the lock, I hear, he's like, he goes, that's what I thought, you fucking bitch. And I turned around, and he was walking towards us again, but he was about where we were when I stopped the second time. And I was just like, fuck it. I threw my keys on the. Jeremy's like, dude, no. And yeah, I threw the keys. I was notorious for this fucking. I was just a fucking idiot. And I threw the keys on the hood of the truck, and I started walking towards him. And he, we kind of met. And I fucking grabbed a hold of him, and I'm starting to cuss at him and shit. And he goes to fucking kick me. I think he tried to kick me or knee me, one of the two. But either way, it was a bad attempt. It missed. He stepped on my Nikes. That was a bad move. I had some Air Force Ones back before they was cool. No, they were Chuck Taylors. Scratch that. They were Chuck Taylors. And he fucked up my brand new white shoestrings, which immediately pissed me off. Don't step on my shoes, bro. But I fucking started running back towards the bar, up against the outside of the bar. It's a brick wall. So he stumbles over the parking blocks, and I picked him, kind of grabbed him up, and fucking threw him up against the fucking wall. And Jeremy runs right in between us, breaks it up, and or so Jeremy thought. And we kind of spun around. This dude walked around this way, and I was on the other. So my back was facing the brick wall, and this kid's back was facing the parking lot. And he's like, yeah, you're lucky. And I just grabbed the dude, like through Jeremy, and pulled him. And as soon as I pulled him forward, I fucking hit him with a good one, right in his nose, because that's my go-to, is I'm hitting you straight in your nose and making your eyes water, or I'm pulling your shirt over your head and fucking giving you the whoopsie doops. So whatever, you're getting garbage stomped. So I start fucking wailing on this dude. Bam! And every time I hit the dude, every time I reach over, I'm reaching Jeremy's. Mind you, Jeremy, the dude that started all this shit, is in between us. He was the one that fucking started this shit with this guy in the bar. Is in between us, and I'm fucking grabbing. I got the dude, like Jeremy's in between us, so I'm reaching over Jeremy and hitting this dude. And every time I hit him, I'm going, bow! I don't know why I was saying bow, but Jennifer was laughing. Jeremy was laughing because every time I hit this dude, I was, and I was putting him to him. His whole left side, he was instant eye jamming. His fucking eye was swole. He had speed knots all over his head. And I'm just fucking douche. I hit him like 5 or 6 times straight. And I was like, man, this dude's not going to hit me. Well, when I went to cock back another time to hit him again, I noticed Jeremy, the whole time I'm hitting this dude in the side in his face, he's trying to hit me, but he's hitting Jeremy instead. So Jeremy keeps getting punched in the fucking ear repeatedly by this fucking dude. And Jeremy's like, finally Jeremy gets wise to what's happening and pushes the dude away and grabs a hold of me. And this dude, like, by that time, the bartender was out front. All these people are out front. They split us up, and I hear the cops, and I'm like, fuck. So I take off running. I'm gonna be honest. I took off. I'm like, fuck. I wasn't able at that point to be frisked and shit by the police. So I booked. Jennifer and Jeremy stayed there. And, I hit my mom up. I was like, listen, I just got in a fight at the bar. I'm letting you know now. I'm probably going to go to jail because I busted this dude up. And she's like, oh, don't just stay hidden. I'm like, nah, I'm going to go over there. So I did what I needed to do over in the weeds. And I walk over, and this dude, the cop cars are all lined up there. Kid's standing there, his eyes all swollen. He's like, this dude is... and the description he gave of me was way off. I was a really big fucking guy, which I wasn't at the time. I wasn't a chubby guy back then. I was skinny. I was rail thin. And, I was I had a working man's physique, a construction physique. I was in good shape. And but I wasn't this mammoth of a dude that he was making. He's like, he beat me up for no reason, and and the cop was like standing there giving the description. And mind you, this dude has no idea I'm standing. I'm at the back end of the police car. He's like, "Don't worry, we'll find him." And I'm like, "Well, you ain't gonna have to look far because I'm right here." And the dude turns around, cop turns around, and he's like, "You're the guy?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm the guy." He's like, "Oh, okay." So immediately cuffed and stuffed. They throw me in the back of a fucking car. And I'm in there for like 10 minutes, and I'm like, fuck, man, I'm going to jail. I busted this dude up, man. His eye was swole shut. His lips were swole. He had a big old knot on his forehead. I busted him up, but a good thing I was drinking, because if I wasn't a drinking, it would have been worse. I would have fucked him up. Because he was just a punk ass, you know what I mean? He's like a year or two younger than me. He's like 19 or 20. And I knew he wasn't old enough to drink because, like I said, I work with the dude, so I know he was not. I was 2 years older than him then, and this is only, a year ago. So I was like, this dude ain't old enough to be in the fucking bar. But I see one of my dad's not one of my dad's buddies, one of my cousin's buddies, some dude. When I was like 15, 16 years old, these dudes were, going and doing what I was doing that night. And I used to hang out with them. I used to drive the car. After I turned 16, I was the designated driver. So I drove all these older ass, my cousin and all his buddies, one of my cousin's buddies, was the manager of the bar, and he walked up and he looked in the car. He's like, what the fuck did you do now, dude? And I'm like, I was like, listen, man, the dude was waiting behind the door for me. He fucking, which, was kind of true, kind of not. He wasn't waiting for me, but he was behind the door getting ready to fucking jump Jeremy. It just happened to be that I was the one that turned out to be fighting him. And, he's like, what? I was like, yeah, that dude was standing behind the door, and when he pushed the door open, it hit me, and he went to shove me and push me and Jennifer, and I was like, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? So, I didn't tell him that, I could have walked away twice. And, he's like, really? I was like, and that motherfucker ain't even old enough to be in the bar, bro, and he's been in there fucking drinking. And then Brian walks over and talks to the cops, and he's like, yeah, man. He goes, I know this dude in the car. Listen, he's not gonna. I wasn't a troublemaker, but if you was an asshole and you were like fucking with somebody in the bar you shouldn't have been fucking with, or you were just being a dick to me in general, I was gonna fucking fight you. I used to get beat up a bunch, and sometimes I won a few, you know what I mean, whatever. But I was never that wasn't my style to start shit, is what I should say. But I'll finish it. I'll fight you though. And he's like, he's a good dude. He goes, I don't even think that. He goes, if I'm gonna go in here and ask my bartender right now. He goes, but I'm fairly certain he's underage, and my bartender has been serving him. She's in trouble, and I don't want him in my bar no more. And the cop asked him, he's like, how old are you? And he's like, oh, I'm 21. He's like, let me see your ID. Pulls out his ID. He's 19. You know what I mean? The cop's like, how old are you? And I showed him my ID. I'm 21. I turned 21 like 2 months prior. And they pulled me out of the car. And we're standing there going back and forth. They gave the dude a breathalyzer test. The bartender's like, yeah, I served him. But they do, after a search of his pockets, they found his other ID, the one he showed her, the one that made him 20, which happened to be his brother's ID. They look similar, so he got away with it. And but he didn't get away with it after the cops found both IDs. So they cuffed him and stuffed him and unlocked me. So I got away with fucking murder. I was in the car. I escaped the jaws again. The jaws of justice once again. I mean, that fucking kid was asking for it, man. He was asking for it, dude. He was asking. Then not. That story could be embellished a whole lot more, but I promise you it wasn't. None of that is embellished. That's what went down. Jeremy Pruitt is in the Squeegee Life podcast page group. You can tag him and relate the story. He knows what I'm talking about. Jennifer knows. I mean, I wouldn't share that if I was telling lies. So, but yeah, there's another chance. I just, they kind of roll in with sometimes it's just better just to keep your fucking mouth shut and stay out of shit and just keep it moving. Oh, and that's a great example of I should have just kept it moving. You know what I mean? I almost went to fucking jail over a dumb fuck. You know what I mean? And that just and then to further the legend of me getting out of fucking trouble. There's been some occasions though that I've fucking gotten into fucking, I've been arrested a few times, you know what I mean? I've sat in the county a couple of times. So, maybe one of these days I'll tell you my longest bit in the county was almost 90 days. But yeah, that dude didn't. I got in a fight with a dude. I won't tell you guys all about it, but I got in a fight with this dude. I busted him up pretty good, and he wouldn't let me out of jail. Every time my probation officer went to call him, like, hey, we're gonna, he goes, if you're a victim of a violent crime and you got a restraining order on somebody, they can keep your ass in there. They'd be like, no, I'm scared. I don't want him out. Well, he kind of kept me in there way longer than I should have been, but I had to stay there until my last court date. So, whatever. You know what I mean? He's a bitch. He asked for it too. I'm just that type of dude. He asked for it, man. You know what I mean? Shit. I don't want this to turn into a bitch fest or nothing, but that's probably what this is gonna be. Cause I like to relate shit that happened because I like the past. I'm a history buff. So I feel like if I share my past a little bit, you know what I mean, with people, put it on wax, maybe some people will get a kick out of it or relate to it or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know. But, get to know me a little bit. And, maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. I don't know. Maybe you guys will like these, maybe you won't like these. But, again, everything that we do, me and Mark do here on our channel is about entertaining you guys and talking about the industry and our days and equipment that we use and our life experience and the shit we like, we dislike, things that interest us. And if there's something that you guys, especially my patrons, if there's something like Alex or Peter or Henry Dreest or, anyone, Mike the Glass Guy, if you're watching this, you're listening to this, you want to, like, hey man, T Squeegee, what would be cool? I would like to hear about this, or why don't you talk about that? And then we'll do that, and maybe I'll have you come on with me and we'll do it together. We'll record this and we'll toss it up. 35-40 minutes of us cutting up, and then whatever's whatever, talking about the topic. Maybe not, maybe so, I don't know. But if you want to be a patron of the Squeegee Life podcast, go to www.patreon.com/Squeegee Life and pick a donation tier. And all the donations are the same. They're not all the same. They're different tiers. You can spend more, spend a little as $1 a month, and as much as $20, whatever. It doesn't matter. Or one-time donation, whatever. Whatever's whatever. But you'll get exclusive content like this a week before everyone else. And the way these will work is I'll release these. I probably won't do one of these every single week, but when I release a new one, the old one will be viewed by the public because I don't want to like make things too exclusive. There are some things like the podcast in a van that will probably never be public. That'll probably always be for patrons. There's a couple of things we're going to do around the holidays that'll probably always be patrons things that only patrons can see. There is a special group just for the patrons. So on Facebook, so you guys can see YouTube links and stuff like that, content, stuff that, we got going on in the background that only our patrons know about. So, and I'm working on something right now. Actually, I'm working on the artwork right now as we speak, something that's super duper exclusive just for our patrons and maybe a few other people once it gets rolling. But, you guys will see, it's going to be super fucking cool. And I'm excited for it. I'm super excited because I just think it's going to be cool. It's just something simple. So simple that people guys might be like, oh, really, dude? Fuck, this is stupid. But then again, maybe you won't. So either way, I think it's going to be super fucking cool. But I appreciate you guys listening to these. I'm going to end this with you go into thesqueegeelife.com, check out our website. I'm going to start blogging. I'd like to get someone to actually turn the keys over there and actually start a window cleaning blog over there. So if there's anyone out there interested in writing or can write, or someone that does write, get them in contact with me. And if they're a window cleaner and like to write, maybe they can take over the Squeegee Life blog. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, man, thanks to Maker Products and Simpole.com for sponsoring the Tuesday tirade with T Squeegee. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to your guys' hints and ideas about what I can do on future episodes, especially my patrons. I wouldn't mind doing a patron exclusive episode or a patron driven episode sponsored by Henry Dreest or sponsored by Mike the Glass Guy. You know what I mean? I think that would be cool. And we talk about what you want to, I'll talk about, or me and you will talk about whatever topic that you choose. I think that'll be cool as shit, man. You know, and eventually people will see it in public and, you know, why not? It'll be cool. But yeah, you know, don't forget to go to go to bigfootmoment@gmail.com. Send Richie some ideas for the Bigfoot moment. Don't forget to do that, guys. If there's a conspiracy that you like to talk about or something like that, hit me up on that. If there's a particular part of my life that you guys would probably like to know a little bit more about, you know, or like, hey, what did you do in high school? Or hey, what did you do for your, what'd you do when you were a kid to pass time? You know, shit like that. Whatever, you know what I mean? Don't forget to ask me that so we can do other episodes like this. I'm going to do these, you know, to expound on things I wouldn't be able to normally expound on because we run out of time on the podcast. And plus I want to do something a little where I can vent a little bit on shit I see on social media, shit I see on YouTube, and shit that I see within the window cleaning industry that's just like, dude, what the fuck? Maybe I should change this, the name of this, to, instead of Tirade Tuesday, to Dude What the Fuck with T Squeegee. And maybe I'll just like blurb out the U, just Dude What the Fuck. Because that's most likely what this is going to be about. And then I'm going to talk about a little bit about me, and then relate some stories here and there, and you know, whatever, talk about stupid shit. One of these days I'm going to get something together. I'm going to do something on the moon because I'm absolutely fascinated with the moon. And I get into talking to it on the podcast, and then, you know, it's tough, you know, because Mark's got stuff he wants to say, I got stuff I want to say, and then we go off in another direction, and then one of the listeners says something, and then we go off in that direction. So it's, the podcast is live, it's organic, but it would be cool to like let me, you know, I would like to let loose a little bit for maybe like 45 minutes to an hour on the moon and the stuff I know about it, and show you guys some stuff that, you know, you guys can research for yourselves and see what you think about it. And then that just adds more discussion in group and on the podcast. So, you know, it's all around good things. But I want to thank you guys again for listening. We'll see you soon. And this has been the Tuesday Tirade with T Squeegee. Deuces, bitch. Yeah.